Hey guys, today we're talking about the rules for scientific notation operations. So we learned how to do scientific notations the other day, and now we're going to take that knowledge of how to turn a standard number into scientific notation and a scientific notation to a standard number and apply it to adding and subtracting, multiplying, and dividing these numbers. So here are the steps. When adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing a scientific notation, here are the steps you need to follow. First, all scientific notation must be changed to standard form. Now, there is a way to do it without standard form, but you guys have not learned the power rules. And so it could get complicated. I wouldn't try to look it up, and a lot of things that are going to tell you are going to change the powers. If you look it up somewhere else, do not change the powers. Please, please, please change it to standard form because it'll be a lot easier for you guys to add and subtract. So you're going to write down what your standard form is, then you're going to perform whatever your operation is, whether it's add, subtract, multiply, or divide, and then you're going to turn your answer back into scientific notation afterwards. This is the easiest way, especially when you do not know the power rule. So we're going to start with 2 times 10 to the 5th plus 6.4 times 10 to the 8th. So let's turn these into standard form. 2 times 10 to the 5th is 2, 4, 5, 20, nope, 200,000, sorry guys. Plus 6.4 times 10 to the 8th would be 6. And then you have 1, and then 7 zeros, which would give us 640 million. So you're going to add 640 million plus 200,000, and you get 640,200,000. And you can put that in your calculator. You don't have to know how to do it off the top of your head. And you don't have to do it by hand. I actually don't recommend you doing it by hand. So you have 640,200,000. Now we're going to turn that back into scientific notation. So remember, I'm going to pick another color. This is where my decimal is. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 6.402, because remember we have to go all the way to the last digit that shows us not 0, times 10 to the, and we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to the 9th. And that's your answer. Now let's try the next one. We have 8.1 times 10 to the negative first, and minus 4 times 10 to the negative second. So this is really going to be 8.1 times 10 to the negative first is actually going to be move it over 1 to the left because it's negative. So now we have 0.81 minus 4 times the negative 2 is move it over 1, 2, 0.04. Put that in your calculator and you get 0.77. So now we need to turn it back into scientific notation because that is not a number between 1 and 10. So I'm going to move it over once to the right, which means it's going to be a negative. So we have 7.7 times 10 to the negative first. And because we moved it to the right, this means that it's negative means we want to move it to the left. All right. So that was our adding. You just add them together. Subtracting, you just subtract them. It's really easy when you're not having to worry about the keeping it in scientific notation. Now we're going to do a multiplying problem. So again, turn your scientific notation into standard form. We have 9.8. We're moving it 4 to the right. So we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. Add our zeros in. So our new number is 98,000. And we have here 7.5. And we're moving it to the left 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And there's our 3. So now times 0.0075. So put that into your calculators and you get 735. So that is not in scientific notation. So our decimals here, we need to go 1, 2 to get it between a number between 1 and 10. So we say 7. I'll move this up a little bit for myself. 0.35 times 10 to the, we moved it to the left twice. So that would be to the second power. And think about this again, if you're having trouble remembering what is it going to be, positive or negative, if you're making a bigger number smaller, it's going to be positive. If you're making a smaller number bigger, it's going to be negative. If you see that we made a smaller number bigger, 0.77, we made to 7.7, it was a negative. When we made a bigger number of 640 million to smaller number of 6.402, we got a positive. So remember, if it's a smaller number, it's going to be a negative. If it's a bigger number, it's going to be positive. All right, so now we have 5.2 times 10 to the negative 4, so this should be a smaller number. So we're going to go to the left. So we have 5.2, we're going to the left 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. New decimal, 0, 0, 0. So now our new number is 0.00052 divided by, we have 8, and we're going to the left again. I'm actually going to move that 8 over so we have more space. And we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I didn't even still leave enough space. 4, 5, 6. We're going to have 6 zeros, so it's going to be 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. So now put that into your calculator, and you should get 650. So again, this is not in scientific notation. We're going to take the decimal and make it so it's between 1 and 10. We move it twice to get there. We have 6.5, don't need that 0, times 10. We moved it 2, and we went from a bigger to a smaller number, so it should be a positive 2. 6.5 times 10 to the second. And it's that simple, guys. It's really what we've been doing. You take the numbers you get, multiply them. I do want to say on one of these, I did want to change it because it gave me, I meant to put, this should not say 12. This should say to the second power. Because the number was way too big if you did 12. Other than that, everything else should be good to go. Remember, you're going to list all the numbers unless it's like zeros at the end. Otherwise, you are going to list every single number. And one of them, this one particular, is going to get real long, but you're still going to list out all those numbers. Otherwise, it won't represent the right number. If you have questions, send me a message on Canvas. The teacher does have the answer key, so you can go check with her. All right, guys, bye.